Coming up this week, growing. Hello everyone, and welcome to our Sunday Spoilers. It's a great opportunity for us to always worship together. And it's a great opportunity for us during this time to prepare for that worship. We know that worship is important. We know that what God does is important. We want to be able to be prepared for that moment where we experience God's presence, where we experience God's guidance and direction. Today is a chance for us to look ahead a little bit to what that might be and what God might be showing us. We're continuing, actually we're closing out our series on discipling like Jesus. We know that Jesus is the great disciple maker, where he is someone who poured himself into the lives of those around him and helped them become disciples. And they also became people who did that. They became people who helped those around them become disciples, followers of Jesus, people who became like Jesus. And I think that's one of the most important things throughout this whole series that we've kind of looked at is this idea of what a disciple is. A disciple isn't just someone who learns. A disciple isn't just someone who finds himself surrounded by church things and faith things. A disciple is someone who has a desire to become like Jesus. Jesus gave us the example. Jesus gave us the model. Jesus showed us what we can do and how we can live our lives. That's our call, is to live that out, to find a way to live that out. We know that it's a life of doing things. It's a life of being engaged with the people around us, to be engaged with the situations that God has put us in. We don't want life to just be something that flows by. We don't want life to just be something where we go from point A to point B and don't really think about it much. We want life to be something that means something. So when we become like Jesus, we engage in a life of worship, we engage in a life of hospitality, we engage in a life of being open to Jesus, we engage in a life of obeying Jesus, we engage in a life of service, we engage in a life of generosity. And so now, this week, we're going to look at what does that mean? You know, how do we do that? How do we grow as disciples? And more importantly, how do we help others grow? How do we be that model that Jesus was to help other people see that? So the text we're going to be looking at this Sunday is 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 7 through 12. Hear now what this has to say. Instead, we were like young children among you. Just as a nursing mother cares for her children, so we cared for you. Because we loved you so much, we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well. Surely you remember, brothers and sisters, our toil and hardship. We worked night and day in order to not be a burden to anyone while we preach the gospel of God to you. You are witnesses, and so is God, of how holy, righteous, and blameless we were among you who believed. For you know that we dealt with each of you as a father deals with his own children, encouraging, comforting, and urging you to live lives worthy of God, who calls you into his kingdom and glory. This is a model. This is a way for us to grow disciples as well as growing in our own faith, that we immerse ourselves into this work. We immerse ourselves into being a disciple, becoming like Jesus. We do whatever we can to help the people around us see that and to understand that and to live that. We take those steps together. We take those steps of being that person that someone else can rely on. That's that person that someone else can talk to. That person that someone else can see God working in our midst. They can just see it, they can just sense it, they just know that there's something going on, that there's a presence there that maybe they had never experienced before. And I know there's a couple words in here, there's a couple lines in here that how holy, righteous, and blameless we were. We know that we're not that. We know that we don't have a blameless life. We know that we make mistakes. We know that we don't always live up to what God expects us to do. And I think that's what makes this even more important, that we help each other to move in that direction. We help each other move in the direction that God leads us to go. That we find ways to reach out and share this good news, not just with the words that we say, but in the actions that we take. So I look forward to Sunday, where we can talk a little bit more about this and maybe some ways of how we can actually apply these things into our lives, some ways that we can live this out and grow our own faith and grow the faith of those who are around us as we live out this life that God has given to us. Can't wait to see you this coming weekend. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you later.